setting the spark gap on the ignition timing. They have shop tools, dwell meters, a whole bunch of other equipment to set the timing or the spark gap on the ignition on the distributor. It's called dwell time, but I don't have that. I'm just going to do it by eyeball method, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Okay. So this is the distributor that I showed you the other day. But in order to set this, you got to know how it works. Okay, so let me just go ahead and show you how it works. This is a voltmeter, and I'm using my truck to charge the battery. Okay, if you notice right now, turn that on. I bought this fluke meter back in 1993, for like $130. Still works 30 years later. Okay, so notice right here, I don't have any. This is called the coil. This is a 12-volt coil. And what the coil does, there's a whole bunch of windings in here, and it builds up an electric charge in here. And it does that through these points right here. These are called points. And when these points are closed, the 12 volts is able, it provides a ground, it provides a ground circuit to charge this coil right here. Okay, it goes to ground. This is the negative side of the coil. Okay, so right now, and then what happens is when these points are on the, this is a cam. This is called a cam, distributor cam. It distributes the electrical power to the spark plugs right here. Notice I got 1, 2, 3, 4 spark plugs, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4 lobes. So when this is in the closed position, these points should be closed to provide a ground circuit. See this right here? This is ground to charge up this coil. Okay, provides ground because this is all grounded. The current, this is the other side of the points. So these are points. They're open right now, but it provides a ground path to charge this capacitor and the coil. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn on the ignition. So this is the positive side of the coil, and I've got 12 volts, right? Now on the other side here of the coil, I should have ground because this is on the flat part of the cam, and these points should be closed. Oh shit. These points should be closed, right? Okay? And it should provide a ground path. Now, see how it's open right? See how I got 12 volts right now? It's 12 volts because these points are open. They should be closed. Let me go ahead and short it out so you can see. Okay, now one thing you got, if I close it right here, okay, let me go ahead and put this right here. Oh, dang. Okay, let me put that right there. Kind of hard to do it with one hand. Okay. Okay. No, hang on. Let me get this right here. Okay. Wait a minute. Can I get it right there? You know what? I'm just gonna do it right here. Oh shit. Hang on. Okay. Okay, I got 12 volts, okay? Now, now what happens is, these points should be closed right now. These contactors, they should be closed, okay? Now watch, let me show you. They should be closed. See that 12 volts? I'm gonna short it out right here, okay? And right now, with it closed, it's providing a ground path to the frame, okay? And then the coil and the capacitor are charged now. They're charged. Okay, and when I remove it, watch what happens. Hear the spark? That's because the coil's charged up. All the windings are charged. And when this coil opens up, the voltage inside here is very high because all the energy is stored in the windings, and there's a lot of windings in here. And it's got nowhere to go, and this coil wants to find a balance, an equilibrium. And the only way it could find it is by discharging the excess energy in the coil and finding the shortest path to ground, which will be through these wires into this rotor that distributes the energy to each one of those contactors, each one of those spark plugs, and will send the voltage, the current, to ground. Okay? So when this is closed, the capacitor's charging up, providing a ground path for the capacitor, or the 12, it's providing a path for everything to charge up. And when it opens up, that capacitor is like a buffer, and it's putting in more energy into this coil to keep that current going into the spark plug. And that's why I got 12 volts right now. And if you don't hear this sound right here, okay, it's 12 volts, right? If you don't hear this sound, see that spark? That's a lot of voltage right there. And that's the points opening up. And let me go ahead and shut it off now. And the way you adjust these points is you've got to loosen that, and you've got to put this thing set up to take a screwdriver right there. See the little slot in there? And you got to set it up and turn it just right. Go ahead and loosen it. Where right there. That should be closed right now. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now. Okay, I've got 0 volts right here, and I got 12 volts there, and I've got 0 volts right here. Why is that? Because the points are shorted. Notice how it's not sparking anymore? Now I'm going to go ahead and bump it to put it on that lobe, and you're going to see it spark as I bump it. Watch. Shit. Okay, did you hear that spark? We'll try again. Oh wait. The points are opened up now because it's on the top. It's on the top of this cam. So those points opened up, and I should have 12 volts right here. Watch this. Look at that. I'm going to touch this right here, and look. 12 volts. Because the points are open because it's on the top of that cam lobe. Now watch.